Is the agenda the same as emailed? Nothing
This
changed?
afternoon,
No. Oh, afternoon.
yes, it changed.
The one on the website is the same as the one you emailed.
Yes, she's already got it updated.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you go on the website, Steve, it's on there.
Go to the
I don't
website.
believe it, but I stopped.
Harmony
to
and
talk.
Yeah.
Should have rode together.
Yeah, we should have. We should have.
Carpool.
Yeah, there's some updated stuff.
Oh, you haven't quit yet?
I haven't quit yet. I haven't quit yet.
You're a short timer.
Oh, that was something.
Yeah.
Jesse is saying gonna make it.
She's on her way back. May or may not make it before we're done. No, she went to watch.
Yeah, I could have, but I was like, no.
In Blooming Prairie.
Where is it under the menu?
Because I didn't want to look at like the screen.
It should be
Or is
right
there one?
underneath, if you scroll down,
Thank you.
or
Thank you. Thank you. Oops, sorry. Sorry.
let's see here, it should be right underneath. Gosh, it looks a whole lot different when you're on a big computer. There we go.
Thank you.
Agenda right there.
All right.
Perfect. Saturday night. Yeah. Playing softball. Playing softball. No, not at all. Not at my age. Not at-
Does it look right, Steve?
Mhm. Just trying to save a copy. All right. Call the meeting to order. Is anybody here for a public forum? Seeing none, we have the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call a vote on the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Brett,
All right, in front of you guys, you got pay request number 4 for Burning Rock products for the 2024 street utility improvements. Just as a reminder, the original contract amount was $1,497,505.99. Work complete to date is $830,884.56. Tonight, I'm making recommendation payment to Burning Rock Products in the amount of $390,542.39. If you guys have seen, they're progressing. There's finally visual evidence that a road is going back in there. All the utilities done, passed, right back up on potable water through the new water main. Sanitary sewer is done and tested. CIPP liner has been installed. The chemical grouting for those services up on 5th and 2nd have been done. Road has been cut to subgrade and built back up with aggregate base and concrete curb and gutter on 4th from Quick Trip out towards Solberg's. Concrete driveway apron's been poured up on 5th. Driveway apron's been poured on 4th between Quick Trip and Solberg's. They're working their way down from the golf course. There's quite a bit of area right now on that roadway that's opened up. We have some soils that are saturated, and so they're farming those and drying those out. I anticipate I'm doing a test roll tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I anticipate it passing with them being able to rock all the way down to where they have subcut. Then they have just that far end down by 52 that they should get subcut and opened up tomorrow. Friday, they plan on having traffic control here to subcut and rock back the 52 crossing. And I would be anticipating the street crew moving up to the alleyway early next week, and the Woods back in town doing concrete curb and gutter from McKean's down to the golf course, or on that side of 52 early next week, and following up with driveways and restoration and prepping for paving. So, again, pay request number 4 is in front of you guys with my recommendation of payment for $390,542.10.
I'll make a motion to pay request 4.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to pay the pay request number 4. Any discussion? Could have this afterwards too, but so do you think they're on schedule to was it September 20th was the
September 21st, absolutely.
21st?
So I was going to talk about that after.
Okay.
This. Okay.
All right. Any other discussion on the pay request? Call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Back to the completion date, if you look at the bottom of your pay request, you'll see that substantial completion date is September 21st of 2024, but final completion date, which is nothing more than some touch-up seed and the wear course paving of June 14th, 2025. Vernon Rock Products dropped off a letter at City Hall today requesting an extension. They're asking for an extension to Friday, the 4th of October. I think they have a lot of work to be done if they're going to hit Friday, the 4th of October. With that said, they have done a couple change order items. There has been a few utilities underground that were not known and not planned out. And so they do have the right to request an extension for a few days. I'm not so sure that 3 weeks is what we should be looking at. But at this time, I recommend that council simply table this. Make no motion on the letter at all. Just acknowledge it's received, or that you received it. We'll finish this project out. And at that time, if the contractor has performed, if they've had multiple people here working towards the final goal and working hard to get it done, then we take that into consideration when we take a look at completion date and what that means.
I got a question for you. If the 21st they're not done,
Speak in your microphone.
if the 21st they're not done, do we start billing them? Is that correct? Do we start fining them? Is that the word I'm looking for?
You don't start billing them. So if you look
Okay.
at the first page of your pay request, item number 8 is retainage. We hold 5% retained. So even though they've completed $883,000 worth of work, we're holding $41,544.22. We hold that retainage until we're happy with the work. You leave that 5% on until through substantial completion. You may consider reducing that. If you're happy with everything, you may consider reducing that down to 2.5 or 2% over the winter before they finalize it in the spring. But we have the funds withheld for purposes like that. Now, our contract, if you look at it, is written just like any other construction contract. There are liquidated damages built into that. It's a calendar day contract, not a working day contract. So come September 21st of this fall, if they have not met substantial completion, there are liquidated damages that can be levied against them. With that said, I believe that cities aren't typically out to find or make money off a contractor, just like we don't want the contractor to take advantage of us. I think if they're working towards the goal and they finish close to that substantial completion, my recommendation would be to not levy liquidated damages against them. But that's why I'm asking you to table this tonight, so we can see how they perform from here on out. And once you hit those liquidated damages, it's not, and Greg would agree with this, it's not as simply as saying, well, it was the 21st and you finished on October 21st, that's 30 days times $1,500 a day, that's $45,000, give us our check. It doesn't work that way. The judge, if you didn't actually just come to an agreement with a set amount of liquidated damage or waive the liquidated damages, a judge would make the city actually prove damages. So it's not a fine. It doesn't work that way. You have to prove damages. And so damages that the city could incur beyond the completion date could be invoices from people like myself for working past that date. It could be any damages done to businesses for not getting people in and out, stuff like that. But it's very hard to prove, and the judge doesn't like to deal with this kind of stuff either. So, like I said, my recommendation would be to table this, not to grant an extension, but to acknowledge that you received the letter table it until the project's completed. We'll have that discussion after the fact.
So one question I have, or maybe it's a comment, I could see Bruning, they're a large company. They've got other jobs going on. They may have other jobs that have higher penalties or holdbacks. So they could essentially let ours wait to get a more important or more expensive job done.
I'd like to think that companies don't think that way, but you're right. Bruning is going to be at the mercy of a couple subcontractors coming up here, right? Waste Construction has to come back and pour curb. Rochester Sand and Gravel needs to come and pave.
Pave.
Whoever's doing the restoration needs to do the restoration. It's very possible that someone like Matthew has their own job that they're the prime on, that's the state of Minnesota or a federal job that they have heavier liquidated damages on that they can't get here until they finish that. So all that stuff comes into play. You know, Bruning is a big company. They do have other projects going on, but they should also have the workforce to be able to do the work they've got. So it's,
But they, am I correct in assuming that they also probably have a window scheduled for the paving? And if they're not ready for, is it Matthews, to come and pave that day, then Matthews can say, well, we'll get there when we can, and that could be,
right in their letter, it says we anticipate paving the streets the week of the 23rd of September. I'm sure they've had discussions with Matthew. I'm sure that every project has an ideal time for Matthew to show up and pave. Some projects are probably sitting there waiting for him right now. Some projects say we want to be on the week of September 23rd, but aren't ready yet. So I'm sure they've had discussions, whether Matthew has given them a firm date. I'm sure they have.
so leaving it open, we could assess the penalties all the way back to, The 20th,
The council can do whatever
21st.
they want to do and make that decision. Right now, like I said, my recommendation is to table it. We received it, we acknowledge it, we make no decision on it. We're not granting an extension at this point.
I would make a motion to table.
I'll second that.
motion and a second to table Bruning's request to, for an extension. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Leaf back.
Leaf vac. So Corey had been looking at a couple different options for replacing our leaf vac. Kyle and I talked about the two options that he had and are recommending this 2022 Spartan Pro Leaf Vac at $100,000. It's a self-contained unit. So what that allows us to do is be a little bit more flexible with leaf pickup and not have to set hard dates of 2 weeks and then we're done and then the leaves don't fall and we're in a pickle that way and people want them picked up. I just talked to the salesman this evening again. This unit is available. It's down in Illinois. Still available, I should say. He did have something that he needs to check into to see if we need to pay tax on this and what the amount of tax of it would be taxed as far as vehicle tax would go. If it's the full $107,000 or if it's a portion or if it's nothing. There's some research that has to be done on that because it's not a new.
That's a sales tax, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Registration.
Registration, sales tax. Because it's not a new piece of equipment, even though it is new, it has approximately 5 hours on it. So what it is it's a take back from the company. And talking with the salesman, he said that most likely those 5 hours are the pre-delivery inspection. So it's essentially new. I guess the opinion is we wouldn't have to deal with it for quite some time. Because it won't get a ton of use, but it'll get use. And the other unit was $50,000, and that was similar to what we have. And so we pay a fee each time we put that chipper box top on the truck. It's an added cost when we build the truck. Just, I think over the life of this would save us money.
But what do we do with the old one?
We will, so I did ask him if there's some value in the old one and that chipper box top that we had built with this truck. He's gonna look into that and get back to us on that, or we could open up for sealed bids. We can put it on, there's like an auction, online auction site, Wisconsin Surplus, that we could possibly do, but we can make that decision next, I guess.
Okay,
So is this from the Spartan company, or would it be worth trading it in if this guy deals with similar machinery?
So we are talking to McQueen's, who is a dealer for this type of stuff. That's who the salesman is. He's with McQueen's in St. Paul. This is located at another dealer down in Illinois that they work with. That's why I wanted to talk to him about trading it in and if there's any value related to that. So if we move forward or we don't move forward, I guess, I think he was, when we talked, he was going to at least come down and take a look at it possibly and let us know what, if there's any value there. So.
I guess I'd like to see us see what a trade-in is and then put a, try to sell it for minimum of that amount.
Correct. Yeah, that was kind of my thought too.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion on that item? I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of that.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Alyssa.
Yeah. So you guys hired me at $32 a week. I am requesting just to give you a little extra time. That extra 8 hours a week would be very, very beneficial for me to. There's a lot of things that I'm learning how to do and a lot of training that I'm signed up for. And then that extra 8 hours would be very beneficial in giving me that extra time. I'm asking up to 40 hours a week. Just, hopefully just maybe the first 6 months, and it might not even be every week. I'm just asking for you guys to give me permission to work up to 40.
I had the discussion with Alyssa and my thoughts on it were, we did hire her at a lower rate of pay because of the inexperience. And so I kind of feel like it's in there to give her the extra hours because we do want her to take those trainings that are important for an administrator.
And those 8 hours would be regular pay, not
Yep.
time and a half.
That position is an exempt position anyway, so it doesn't get paid overtime. If they have overtime, it's 1-to-1, so it's the same rate basically.
Yeah.
I guess is where it's at, so.
I'll make a motion to move her up to 40 hours for 6 months.
Second.
Motion and a second to move her up to 40
Up to
hours,
40 hours a week.
but not a set 40 hours a week. Up to 40 hours. Yeah, okay.
Sounds good.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, the land purchase
Land plane.
And
purchase.
and claim, yeah.
That is
For the-
to work on the alleys, right, Brian? So the current blade that we have is, how do you want to say it, not idea for that situation?
We had a blade that went behind the tractor, but the alleys are usually overgrown and you break mirrors and stuff So this would be on the skid loader. So it's a little easier to manage. And they're treating the other one in, I believe.
Yeah, it says they're charging it for 500. So it cost 1,000. I'd make a motion to make that purchase.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to purchase the land plane. Any other discussion?
Well, so the skid loader, that's rubber tires, correct? It won't be hard on the streets. Cool.
All right, call for a vote. All in favor of the land plane purchase, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Signature update, that's just putting
Yep.
you on as a signer, correct?
Yep, we'll remove Sam off of there and then get me added so I can sign for things. Yes.
And that's not going to remove Sam from signing for ambulance
No.
things, right? Okay.
Sorry, no, no.
I'll motion to approve resolution 2412.
Second.
Motion and second for resolution 2412 for signatures. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And the rezoning ordinance amendment.
All right.
I can speak to that if you want.
You want to
Lisa.
speak on that one?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. This was addressed at the Planning and Zoning Commission, so their recommendation to the council is to approve changing the zoning classification on the building that was formerly R&J, the furniture store, the two-story furniture store building. The property just to the north that used to be the vet clinic and was also part of the R&J enterprise is industrial already. And the proposal is to convert the two-story building to industrial as well from its current classification of R2. And so it adjoins industrial. The reason this came up now is because of the intended use by Mactibulus, so the other haunted house doesn't fit an R2 district. And so this would be a change to accommodate that the landowner is fine with. So that's what the planning and zoning is recommending. They did the public hearing portion at their meeting. And so the council is at your discretion. You can act on that now.
So that was advertised, public hearing for changing that
Yes.
from R2 to industrial.
Yeah, and that hearing was held last Wednesday.
And then it remains R2 to the south of that.
Correct. So Ruben's house that's now been sold, the whitish faded one, would stay R2, correct? And Jake's house behind there as well, I believe, is also R2.
All right. I'd make a motion to approve the amendment.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And just while we're on the subject, anything else happen at the zoning?
We did have another public hearing
Yeah.
regarding the variance request by Monster Bash. That has been extended while they work on some other issues or items to come back. And hopefully next month, we will have a recommendation
Okay.
related to that variance.
All right. And antique mall loan.
Do you want to
Sure.
update
Did
them
we
on that
vote?
too?
Did we vote on that?
I didn't vote on the rezoning. I thought I did. Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
All in favor?
Then I
motion
just
carries.
asked afterwards about anything else.
Unanimous.
Carry on, Mayor.
Pay attention, Kyle.
Always try to catch me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprising to miss one.
May have to come back tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, I can explain the loan
Okay,
if you want
good.
to. So this
Yep.
came from the EDA. There's been an application for a loan from the revolving loan fund from Monica Tilges Cochran, which is Erica's sister, for a $40,000 loan at 6.75%. That's the rate that was used last month for a couple of other loans spread out over 10 years, so the traditional loan term. The EDA was recommending recommending that to the council. It's higher than the traditional standard loan amount of 25,000. It's 25,000 is kind of maybe outdated because of the way things have changed. And as EDA, we've talked about, should we raise it? We've decided just to leave it, but be flexible when worthy causes come up and there's higher requests. So it's a $40,000 request. The agenda kind of spells out the note sheet as to what to be used for. And the EDA was recommending that council approve that to help her along with that project at the former Wheeler's property.
I would make a motion to approve the loan.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to approve the EDA recommended antique mall loan. Any other discussion? I just add, I don't know if you mentioned, but we have gone over that a number of times also, the 25, so.
I'm glad to see something going in that building finally.
Yes. Yep. And one that'll bring a lot of people, I think.
Disco balls and lights are staying.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Probably auction them off.
All right, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Building and maintenance,
I don't think there's anything new
good.
or more, I should say.
EDA board, that was probably our big item, the antique mall.
We welcomed Megan Gill as the
Oh,
new
yeah.
rep from CETA.
Okay. Harmony Chamber, anything to,
Membership drive will start at the end of September, so. watch for that.
good. Park board,
Not a whole lot. Because of the change in administrator, Alyssa was sitting on the park board as a public member.
Mhm.
Now, as she's the administrator, that creates an open seat. So Stephanie Mensink was approached and would be willing to take that open seat, and the park board made a recommendation to add her to that seat,
it was Stephanie Minsing.
Stephanie Mensink.
I'm not sure if I need to or supposed to, but I'll nominate her and make that a motion to accept her on.
Second.
Motion and a second to add Stephanie Minsink to the park board. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else for park board?
Otherwise, it was just discussion on what we we're gonna do with donations and what was needed. The Lions Club approached us to see what we needed, and I think we're gonna try to move forward looking at bleachers for the Rucker Court.
Hmm.
So more to come on that.
And were the tennis courts going to get resurfaced?
We've been talking about that since I became a member of the park board. I do know that recently there was some information given to one of us related to there might be some companies over in Spring Grove that are local that do that. So we'll look into that for next year. But yes, that has been a topic of discussion for at least 4 years.
And the thought
Probably
there,
beyond.
The thought there is to make it pickleball
Correct,
friendly. Yeah.
yes.
So we don't have a lot of people playing tennis. I haven't seen anybody for a long
I
time.
have not.
They'll probably show up, they'll probably show up once we change it.
Yeah, when we make it pickleball courts, then the tennis players are gonna come back.
Library board,
Library met last night. Nothing too big. We got some new audiovisual books where you can read through as you wish, just like any ordinary book, but it also reads to you through an audio aid, which is great for a variety of reasons, especially young readers. That's it.
so the audio's in the book.
The audio is in the book.
Wow,
Yeah.
all right. They must cost more than the paperbacks, right?
A bit. We didn't get a lot of them.
It's because they read for you, you don't have to read it.
Arts board,
The Arts Board, we're looking for a new academic faculty member as part of Arts Board, ongoing search, and a new student rep as Eva Hemingway has moved off to Luther College. So we'll be bringing up a name in the coming month or two. But thank Eva Hemingway for sitting on the Arts Board.
yes, my thanks also to Eva. She was a good member. And I'm sure she'll be around anyway. Fire department,
Nothing new.
and did we have a sheriff's report? I don't go
Yeah.
that far. All right. Anybody have anything else for our meeting? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Another new record.
Don't worry about it. Steve, that's Harmony Snow and Ice Agreement. That slid right through, so we can just approve that and sign it. It was, yep. It's good to go? Okay. Thank you. You just say things way better than what I would.